Recently, I've been working on my Black Orc Blood Bowl team. Now, because I'm nearly finished with them, I've been thinking about how I want to base them. Now, in the past with my Blood Bowl teams, I've always gone for the same, admittedly boring style. Well, I've decided that enough is enough, and I'm going to mix things up a little bit. So I'll catch you after this.
Pickle jar, miniatures, excellent.
Hello and welcome to the Pickle Jar. My name's Josh, and today we're going to be taking a look at the humble Blood Bowl base. I've been enjoying playing Blood Bowl for many years, and I have tons of teams tucked away in my cabinet. I have, however, always been fairly lazy with the bases, just chucking a bit of flock on. They all look identical and, honestly, a little bit underwhelming. Now recently I've been working on my new Black Orc team, and I've decided that enough is enough with the bases. I'm on a mission to change things up and add a little bit of extra interest to my teams. I've got a few different ideas in mind for a few future teams, so expect to see more videos like this coming up in the future. In today's video I'm going to show you how to create a grassy pitch, but with a little bit more interest than just chucking flock on. I'll see you at the end of the video. So here we have our Blood Bowl base, and as you can see, as with all the Blood Bowl bases, it has a slot. As the models don't use this slot, it's going to need to be covered up. Now, I see a lot of different people doing this in a lot of different ways. Some people like to use things like milliput or green stuff to fill in the gap, but in general, I can't be bothered to mix up any of that just for filling in a gap on a base. If you're like me, then you'll have plenty of plastic from blister packs lying around. Now, it does leave a slight elevation on the base, but once we've covered this all up with texture and other products, it's not going to be noticeable. So just cut down a piece of plastic to size and attach this over the gap with a bit of super glue. Once that's dried and secure, it's time to add a bit of texture. Now, there are loads of different ways to do this. There are different products like Sterling Mud from GW, or you can go old school and use sand and PVA. If you do go that route, then you will have the extra couple of steps of priming it and painting it in the base colour, but it is also cheaper doing it that way. For today's video, and once again for pure laziness, I'm going to be using Sterling Mud. Now all you want to do with this is literally scoop it out of the pot and apply it to the base in a nice even layer, covering over the entire base. Now do try not to get any of this around the edge of the base, but if you do, don't worry too much because you can wipe it off nice and easy before it dries. Once this has dried, we're just going to give it a couple of passes over with some dry brushing. First off, I'm going to use a mid-brown colour just to add a bit of the detail, and then going back in with an even lighter brown, going a little bit softer on this dry brush. All that we're doing here is adding in a little bit of definition on the mud, even though most of it is going to be covered over in a later step. Now that that's done, we're going to start adding some of those coverings. First, I'm going to add some of this, the Patchy Plains, a base-ready product from Geek Gaming Scenics. Now they offer a huge variety of different looks to fit different themes and different aesthetics, and they're a great way for basing miniatures. For this base, I'm going to add a few patches rather than covering the entire thing. I'm just applying the quick drying basing glue to a few areas, leaving some of the mud showing underneath. Then simply sprinkle some of the base ready over the top. You might need to sprinkle a couple of times just to get the coverage right, but when you've done, just make sure that you tap off any excess. I aimed mainly for the smaller particles of the base ready mixture, avoiding some of the bigger stones, but that's just my preference because I don't think there would be too many big rocks lying around on a Blood Bowl pitch. To add some more interest now, I'm going to add a couple of grass tufts. Now the ones that I'm using are just from GW. You can get grass tufts literally anywhere, including from Geek Gaming Scenics, so have a look around and pick some that fit your theme. Adding these will create some different heights on the base and add to the patchy, unkept look of the pitch. These generally stick on fine by themselves, but I do like to add just a tiny spot of super glue just to make sure they are nice and secure. Now, once all that is on and dried, it's time to add some of the finishing touches. Taking an old brush, I'm dabbing on some Ulthuan Grey here just to represent the painted line on the pitch, going on in a nice patchy style. and once that's on, I'm taking an even older brush and dabbing on a little bit of blood for the blood god because, well, this is Blood Bowl. All that was left to do was to attach the player using a pin in his foot and a little dab of super glue, and here we are. Now, I know that this isn't exactly revolutionary, and I know that it's not crazy out there, top of the world, amazing standards, but sometimes just adding a couple of extra steps can go a long way. I'm happy with how this player looks, and I'm looking forward to getting the rest of my players painted and onto their bases. So there you go guys, what did you think to the end result? Make sure to let me know down below in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you have, be sure to leave a like down below, and if you want to see more of me, you can always pop along for the live stream every Wednesday at 8 PM, and if you want to drop into our Discord, there's a link down below in the description as well. If you want to help support the channel, there are links to our affiliates down below in the description, as well as a link to our channel sponsor, Broken Turd. Finally, I want to say a massive thank you to all our channel members. Pretzel, Andy Allen, Chaotic Painting, The Immersive World Crafter, The Hobby Corner, Frost and Fists, Karen Commissar, Thomas Gesler, and Amy Root. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you for helping to support the channel. If you'd like to join them and become a Pickle Pal yourself, simply click the join button down below. That's all from me, and I'll see you next week with another video.